Hello, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me on a Monday morning to get more from your career or more from your teams. And well done, because it means you're starting your week off on the right foot. And today is all about making the most of Twixtmas, which I'll explain a bit more about in a minute. So drop in a comment if you're here. Feel free to drop any questions as well, or ideas of future topics are always very welcome. So I'm Emily Edwards. I'm the travel industry's career coach and commercial trainer, and helping people get more from their careers and more from their teams. So what is Twixtmas? Twixtmas is that period in between Christmas and New Year when everything slows down. And I love working at this time of year. For the perfectionist Libra rising sign in me, it's a really great moment to get loads of stuff sorted out and feel like I'm starting the year on the right foot rather than rushing. So rather than coming in like dumpy, fat and lazy after the Christmas break, and then work hits you like a ton of bricks, you can really start off on the right foot if you work that period between Christmas and New Year. So the reason that I love working so much at this time of the year is that everything slows down. You get fewer emails in your inbox, perhaps unless you're in operations. Your partners are also taking holidays. No one's signing commercial deals between Christmas and New Year, are they? And if your head office is in Southern Europe, like some of mine have been, you'll probably come to an absolute standstill. It's also the winter solstice for us in the north anyway. The winter solstice is the 21st of December, and I really think this is the time for quiet reflection and thinking rather than doing. So during this magical period, Twixtmas, there are three things that I really like to do and that I'd recommend you look at. So number one is reflect, number two is recover, and number three is get ready. So let's dive in. Reflecting. We so rarely reflect and look backwards at what we've done, especially on a personal level. We just keep chugging on, looking ahead at all the things we have to do and haven't done yet and want to do. And we so rarely look back and appreciate how far we've come. So this can be your KPIs, but probably you've already done that as part of your end of year review. But more than that, I would love you to reflect on any personal achievements and changes that you've made in the last year. Any ways that you've changed your behaviors, any ways you've changed your beliefs. Maybe you've learned new skills. Maybe you've picked up a new hobby. This is not just about work as well, right? It's you as a whole person. Maybe you've supported your family in an extra special way this year. Maybe you've made positive changes for your health. Maybe you've tapped into your spirituality. Like whatever it is, all of that adds up to make you the special person you are. So do definitely think about all the things that you've achieved this year. And I like to call this my to-do list. So rather than having an endless to-do list of all the things we haven't done, the to-do list is all the things we have done, and we so rarely do it. I actually now do this every single month because I was finding it as a business owner now really hard to keep track of what I've done, and I have an endless amount of ideas of things I want to do. So I'd really recommend building this into your routine, maybe at the end of every month. Do a quick little ta-da of all the things you've done that month. And then when your end of year review comes around, you've got an enormous and rich list of achievements and changes. So a really helpful framework as well to think about this without beating yourself with a big stick is WWWEBI. WWW is not World Wide Web. It's what went well. So we start with the good stuff, right? What did we do well? We always tend to think of the bad. So let's start with the good. Then even better if. So we're not saying you did a bad job of anything, but it'd be even better if. So that could look like what went well this year. I made great new relationships with my clients and suppliers, but even better if I was able to use the data better when I was negotiating with them. So step two is recover. It's another thing we don't do enough of. So physically and mentally, there's something like 7 different kinds of rest depending on what we've been doing. So have a think and just tap in and think, what do you really need? What is your body and your mind asking you for? Maybe it's the Muppets Christmas Carol on repeat. Maybe it's loads of chocolate, but maybe it's walks in the forest or going to yoga or calls with your long distant friends that you haven't seen for a while. So have a think about what you feel you need to recover during this period. And I would think about 3 categories. So one is rest now, but also can you build that in through the year? If you know that you need to rest in order to do your best work, build it into your schedule. And then what is the learning or growth that you want to do? So recovery can also look like knowing what is coming next. And often we know that in a gut feeling. And then what kind of support do you need to make it happen? Because nobody works alone. The third step is get ready. Get ready for next year. Although it's an arbitrary change in the year, the 1st of January, we do think about it as a fresh slate. So use that to your advantage. Obviously, I'm imagining you've probably already got next year's KPIs and goals, and if not confirmed, you have a rough idea of what they're going to be. So have a think about where you can keep them so that you'll see them regularly, because often if we don't go in and check that dashboard, or if we're doing projects that aren't specifically related to a commercial outcome, how do you make sure you keep working on them? You need to find a way that you'll see them, pin them up on your desk, put them on as an image on your computer desktop, save them in a file that you have attached to a calendar invite that you see pop up every month. How can you make sure you keep seeing your goals so you know to keep working on them, not just doing the ones that feel easy or obvious or that other people are asking you to do? And then I really love to organise the first few weeks so that you don't feel like shit going back to work. Build in the to-do list, build in the rest, build in the learning and support you need, and then you can hit the road running and not feel like crap after the Christmas break. Now is the perfect time. So Twixtmas is the perfect time to do that stuff that isn't really important, but that would really make you feel better about your work. So stuff like color coding your calendar, color coding your emails by topic, organizing your folders. Like I said, these things are really important, but they do reduce the workload on your brain every day. They do help you move faster. They help you feel like you've got some control. And when we feel like we're in control, we're better able to regulate our emotions and feel less stress. So this is a great time to do it when you haven't got too many other demands. And lastly, get ready by having some CEO time. Have an offsite with yourself. Take yourself to a cafe or go and work somewhere different for a half day or a full day, and really think about, how do I want to come across in my career this year? How do I want people to see me? What is my strategy for myself? And how do I need to enact that? Because we're so busy, selling more or buying more, or getting better rates or having better competitiveness, whatever it is that we're targeted on. We're great at following that up because we want to get our bonuses and other people remind us of those things. But other people won't remind you to have your CEO time for yourself and your career. So what do you need to learn this year? How do you need to come across in meetings? What is the one thing you want everybody to know about you that's unique to you, your strengths, your values, and how are you going to get more people to see it this year? What are the things you love doing and that give you energy? And how do you get more of that into your year? This is what your offsite day is for. And Twixtmas is the perfect time to do it because you won't have too many other responsibilities. So there it is. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas and Twixtmas and that 2026 is the best year ever.